We are Casey and Natasha. I'm Casey.
I'm Natasha.
And we've been working with Master Entrepreneur for 2 years now. And they've been a huge help at rebranding ourselves. We are now The Conscious Builder. And Natasha and I also have a podcast called The Conscious Living Podcast with Casey plus Natasha. And we're developing a whole set of companies around the idea of conscious living. And through Master Entrepreneur, they've helped us really set up the systems to have a self-operating business. Their quarterly workshops as well as the one-on-one coaching has been invaluable to everything that we're doing.
And they really meet you at the place where you are. And I have found that specifically to be really, really helpful because being, a female entrepreneur, it looks a little different than being a male entrepreneur. And with the whole addition of some people raising a family and also having a business, I found Master Entrepreneur really, really helped juggle what that looked like. So I really appreciate that part of the work. So it wasn't as much as it was focused on the business, because home life, obviously trickles into business life. Not all people will help you, support you, guide you through that part. So I specifically love that. Thank you, Chris, and everyone with the Master Entrepreneur team for that extra support and guidance.
Yeah, a huge part of that is everything with entrepreneurship is mindset. Master Entrepreneur definitely focuses and helps a lot on that mindset, because as we know, it's 80% psychology and 20% mechanics. So Master Entrepreneur, yes, they help with the mechanics, a huge part of the mechanics, but they definitely focus on the psychology portion of it, so the mindset. That alone definitely can't even put a price to that. So the Conscious Builder, thanks to working with Master Entrepreneur, we've got very clear on the direction that we're heading. So we currently rebranded ourselves as the Conscious Builder, and now we only take on projects that are built to a higher standard in terms of energy performance, or use environmentally friendly products. So we're very clear on the projects that we want to work on. We're very clear on the people that we want to work with us within the team, and we're very clear on the direction that we're heading in the next 5, 10, 15 years. So we're very much aligned. The companies that we have now are very much aligned with our own values, and the people that we're finding are very much aligned with the values of the companies.
A big part of working with Master Entrepreneur and the companies that we've created, well, mainly Casey has created when it comes to the Conscious Builder, is having that company be a self-operating business. So Casey and Master Entrepreneur, Chris specifically, have worked closely on making sure that even at our, well, I'd like to say young age, we are able to relocate, for example, the winter. So this past winter we spent 3 months in Florida, not on vacation of course, but we just relocated to somewhere warmer, and we had the freedom to be able to do that. But we wouldn't have been able to do that with the great team at Master Entrepreneur.
One thing I want to point out too is that their quarterly workshops are great, because you get into a room with other entrepreneurs, and the conversations that come from that are so important as we all work through this, right? So it's kind of like having a little mastermind group, but as you go to them and you see the same people over and over again, you can really help each other and see how people's businesses are flourishing and doing really well thanks to the Master Entrepreneur coaching.
So having Casey working with Master Entrepreneur and really noticing drastic shifts in his greater vision and purpose of where he wants to take the companies, I've noticed that he has became so much more confident and clear in where he wants to go. But more importantly, he has really prioritized his work and his life in terms of making sure that he has time for his family as well as the important stuff that he wants to focus on for his work. So really working with Chris and the Master Entrepreneur team and help us figure out the best way for our family to have this. We don't like to use the word balance because we don't believe necessarily in work-life balance, but the Master Entrepreneur team really helped us figure out a way that accommodated our specific situation, our specific family. So that was a really, really big bonus that we weren't expecting to experience and to go through. But also something that Casey has experienced is, some pretty intense experiences of this entrepreneurial world and being part of this community. There's a lot of, shall we say, what is a good word? Unknowns and struggles that we weren't expecting. And so to be able to take those experiences and those struggles and really bounce them off, a fantastic coach was so helpful because it's pretty normal, and sometimes just to get that normalization of an experience is so helpful, and it just is able to get you through it. So to that, we are so thankful for the Master Entrepreneur role.
Entrepreneurship definitely is not easy, and like Natasha was saying, there's definitely some struggles and some hardships and some problems and stop signs and all sorts of things that we come across. And that's where Master Entrepreneur has been such a huge help. So being able to speak to somebody and reach out to them when we needed to, or to just run, sometimes you don't even need them to say anything, just somebody who can sit there and really listen to something that you're going through, and as you work through it, you come up with the answer. But if not, Master Entrepreneur definitely has the ability to help you find that answer, whatever it may be, if there even is an answer in the situation at the time. But it's definitely a huge help to have that somebody who understands entrepreneurship, somebody who has their own business, somebody who's been there and done that and can really meet you where you're at and understand where you're coming from. That's a huge bonus in working with Master Entrepreneur.